Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kimball Hooker Show. I'm so excited for our guest here today. I've heard so many good things about him. We're going to dive right in. Welcome back to season 3. I'm so excited about that. We did 1 year, 2 year. This is our 3rd season here in Las Gatas. Support us in KCAT TV. Mike Williams.
McWilliams. It's Irish.
Really?
Yes.
We're going to get right into it. That's right. That's right. So talk to us a little bit about how you got started on your musical journey.
Okay, so way back in 1974, when I was 10 years old, I decided to play trumpet. I think one of my neighbors started playing trumpet a year before, and I heard him practicing, and I said, that looks like a lot of fun. And there's only 3 buttons, and so how hard can it be?
Right.
So in school, in 4th grade, I decided to take up the trumpet, and they offered that in school back then. So I started playing trumpet and practiced a lot and everything. And here I am today, 50 something years later.
Nice. That's cool. Where are you originally from?
Actually, we my family came from the East Coast. We were pretty much New York, Maine, Vermont, that area. And in 1972, we all moved here. My dad was in the Air Force, so we did a lot of moving. And we ended up in the Bay Area in 1972.
Okay.
72.
All right.
And he decided to retire from the Air Force in 76, and we just stayed here.
Nice. Okay. So Bay Area, pretty
Yeah.
much. Been here ever since?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so musically, how did you transition yourself to, because you're big right now. I mean, you play with a lot of different groups, a lot of different genres and styles, and people know your name. How did that come about to make a name for yourself to be able to play with so many different groups? Trumpet is not an easy instrument.
It's not.
People look at it and go, yeah, well, it's just a trumpet. But I admire it because it's solo, and you have to play with other people, and you have to. I'll let you speak on that. But yeah, you can't just be playing on your own. But to blend in with a trumpet is not an easy task. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So during like high school and high school and everything, I joined all the bands. I was in jazz band, concert band, symphonic band, even marching band.
Nice.
In fact, I joined a drum and bugle corps a long time ago, back in 77. And so that in there we had like 60 horns. So I learned how to play and balance and, play in big groups.
Right.
And I did that for like 8 years.
Wow.
And in the summer we would tour for, a month or 2 on the road with buses and stuff. So I did that for a long time, since I was 13 until I was 21.
Right.
Also in 1984, I joined the Olympic marching band. And there was 850 of us there.
Oh my goodness.
So, and we had 150 trumpets.
Wow.
And it was very loud and a lot of fun.
Wow.
And then from there, I just kept on joining bands. I've been in jazz bands, concert bands, all sorts of stuff. And then people get to know you. You know this guy, that guy. Oh no, I know a trumpet player.
Right.
And so it becomes kind of a community, a network.
So what is is there a genre that you most appreciate or like?
I guess, yeah. Like jazz or jazz fusion,
okay,
or even just pop music too, and rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
And I was a big Foreigner and Genesis and Styx fan and all that stuff. Although there's no trumpets in those groups, but
that was my next thing I was going to say. Where are the trumpets in there?
Yeah, they're not there. But yeah, like Tower Power, Earth, Wind, and Fire, El Giro. I started listening to things with horns, and horn sections,
right,
especially Tower Power. I've been in a lot of Tower Power cover bands.
Right. Oh, the cover bands.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
That's a lot of work.
And now I know 2 guys in the horn section that I've played with before. They're in Tower Power now.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So, yeah. And then I just joined top 40 bands.
Got it.
Because most of the bands I've been in feature the horn section. There's at least 3 of us. Like the first band, me and my friend Kevin Conan, we started a band called Lights Out, and we were together from 86 until about 93.
Okay.
And then I joined PST, Pacific Standard Time, which is kind of a local Los Gatos cover band.
Right.
I did that since 2002 to about 2014.
Okay.
So a lot of years there.
Right.
And then I heard Houserockers needed a trumpet, and he was kind of retiring, or he couldn't cover all the gigs. So I was subbing for him. And then his schedule got really busy, so I became the member and he was the sub.
Oh.
And then he kind of dropped away, and then I was full-time member for Houserockers.
Oh, that's cool.
And I got in Houserockers probably about 2011-ish.
Okay. That's a long time in that band.
Yeah.
A lot of members in that band too.
Yeah.
A lot of members.
Yeah, Houserockers have been around since, I think this is our 25th year.
That long?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think so.
I didn't know.
Paul's been running the band for 25 years.
Wow.
I mean, we've had people come in and out, but overall, it's the core that remains.
Still established.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself as far as like some of the like the areas that you played. Are you more or less like local, or do you play like out of California?
I'm pretty much local, Bay Area.
Got it.
Like Houserockers will probably play within 100-mile radius of Los Gatos or so. I'm also in a Frank Zappa cover band.
Okay.
And it's called the Stinkfoot Orchestra.
How does that work with trumpets?
It's well, a lot of the music we've orchestrated out into trumpets and all that, or not trumpets, but a horn section, because we have 6 horns. We have 3 saxophones, 2 trumpets, and a trombone.
Oh, wow.
So it's orchestrated, and there's actually 14 of us in the band. So it's kind of it's really an orchestra, but we're doing Frank Zappa music.
Wow.
And a lot of his compositions weren't just rock and roll; they were just kind of symphonic and kind of strange too. It's very interesting music and very intricate. So we really have to be concentrating on stage.
Right.
But that's a lot of fun. So in that band, we'll do a little bit of touring. We'll go up north, like Oregon, Washington, as far as like Idaho.
Right.
And then we also go down south, like San Diego or that area, Southern California.
Right. I have a question for you. So I saw a guy one time, and maybe you can explain what I was seeing, but he sounded like he was, I want to say like he had like 3 or 4 different parts playing at the same time, but it was just him by himself. What kind of device is that?
He's either playing with pre-recorded tracks, and he's just playing like the first trumpet, and he's got second, third, fourth trumpet already recorded, or he's got like a looper where he can record himself, and then he can hit the looper and then play back to what he just played. So yeah, there's techniques.
There's techniques for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Because he was laying it down, and it was sounding so sweet, so beautiful. Yeah.
And you can also get some digital effects like a harmonizer.
Okay.
So you can play notes, and it'll create the harmony above the notes that you're playing, like on a foot switch or a pedal.
Got it. Yeah.
Like guitar players, they have all these pedals in front of them.
Got it.
You could do the same thing with trumpet, and do some harmonizing.
Is that what you
effects.
use? Have you tried that?
In the early days, yeah, but then I couldn't really justify setting up all that equipment just for 1 or 2 songs.
Oh, got it.
So
got it. Makes sense.
You know how you start off, you have all this equipment, and then you realize, I don't need that. I don't have to carry that
throughout
anymore.
the years. Yeah, you figure it out.
You get down to what you need, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you building anything right now? Building anything like a band, or are you trying to be a part of something right now? Is there anything that you're working on?
Not really. Because playing in Houserockers and the Stinkfoot Orchestra pretty much keeps me busy.
Got it.
So
where can you be found? Like you have a website, or are you just online? Can people just like Google Mike McWilliams?
Yeah, you could Google my name, or I am on Facebook.
Okay.
So I guess you could send a friend request.
Right. Some of the are you on YouTube? Do you have any videos where people can see you?
Just videos of the band that I've been playing with. Like there's some old PST videos from 10 years ago. There's some Frank Zappa Stinkfoot Orchestra videos, and probably a lot of Houserocker videos too.
Okay.
So,
and then some of your worst, have you had any worst gigs? We're going to get to the good gigs, but have you had any, what are some of the worst gigs that you've ever been a part of? Or when I say worst, I mean, like sometimes I've been on stage. I'm a musician as well. So sometimes the mic has gone out, sometimes, things might happen unexpectedly. Is there anything that has ever happened to you?
Yeah. One time I got called up to sub for this band, and he didn't have any music written in for the horns or anything, so we had to kind of figure it out, and we didn't have any rehearsals. So he just okay, we got to do this. Meet me at this club at 8 p.m. Bring your horn. And so some of the tunes I already knew because I've been playing tons of tunes all the time, and okay, I know this tune, so I'm going to play. And so it was kind of disorganized, which I expected. But then the lead singer, he would just kind of stop playing and adjust his guitar and everything, and we're on stage, and I'm thinking, why is he doing that?
Right.
You don't do that on stage.
Right.
And so after the first break, me and the sax player, I knew the sax player too, and we're going, wow, this is horrible. I don't want to go back up on stage because it's embarrassing when the lead singer guitar player is just, he's not concentrating and he's just not really into performing.
I've had that happen too.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about some of your best experiences that was like, wow, this is nice?
Let's see. Okay, some of the Houserockers gigs, where there's like 5,000 people out there. That's a lot of fun.
That's a lot of fun, huh?
Yeah, and then the whole crowd singing along, dancing.
Right.
I know people. It's like, I know you,
Yeah.
along with the thousands of others. In fact, we used to do the Los Gatos Park dance, when it was big. I think there was one time where there's like 7,000 people.
Nice.
I think. And that was a highlight because, you look out there and it's just a sea of people, singing along and dancing and huge dance floor, lights, everything. So those are the good ones.
Music is very enlightening and therapeutic.
Yeah.
People singing along, like you said, singing along and, chanting sometimes or dancing or, and then you look out and you know some of the people, and they come to support you. Yep. And support is always big.
Yeah, it's always a great vibe,
right?
And then when they say one more song, it's like
they'll say one more song for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah,
it's always one more song.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun, and I think it is therapeutic for a lot of people. You go out there, you sing, you dance, you're having a good time, and it's just a good vibe.
Good vibe, yeah.
That's why I still play.
Right, exactly. Who were some of the like your inspiration, like trumpet players before you?
I would say Doug Severinsen. He was on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and I used to always, stay up late and try to maybe they'll show the band tonight. Maybe they'll show Doc playing. So he was my initial inspiration, and then Maynard Ferguson. He was like a super high note player. He was really popular in the 70s and 80s, and doing the high stuff. Mm-hmm. So all of us wanted to play high,
Oh my
super
God.
hike stuff.
I was looking at the trumpet and looking at you. I'm like, wait a minute. You did that real well. Real good.
So yeah, the 70s and 80s was like the high trumpet time where, everyone's, I want to be like Maynard Ferguson. And so we're all practicing and just blowing our heads off. And then there's other players. I would say those two are the main influences for me is Doc and Maynard.
I remember him too. He wore a nice jacket, the suit. Doc Stevenson?
Yeah.
Very distinguished older man.
Yeah. And now he's like 90 something.
He's still alive?
I think he just recently retired last year.
Oh my goodness.
He was still playing up until last year, and he's in his 90s.
Oh wow. That's a good inspiration.
Yeah.
You were really young then too, looking at him.
Yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you this. With your learning, did you take lessons or did you just were you taught by ear or?
I took lessons maybe for a year or so, but I was pretty much self-taught. As soon as I joined the drum corps, the Vanguard drum corps, we had a lot of instructors, and we got instructed on how to play notes and all that stuff.
Got it. Okay.
And so I got a lot out of that, and I also playing in school bands. The teachers would teach us.
Oh, got it.
Not so much one-on-one attention, but enough to where, okay, I'm playing in a band, and okay, this is how I blend with that, and these notes go like that. And so I wasn't really into taking a lot of private lessons, but I was kind of self-taught. More self-taught. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just look at the trumpet as an instrument where it's like, it's single note. Mm-hmm. Like there's no harmony there.
Yeah, one note at one time.
One note at one time. What's the biggest thing to look out for when you're playing a trumpet?
Probably preparing for any of the high notes and stuff, or just endurance. Because if you're playing for 1 or 2 hours, eventually you're going to get tired, and then the high notes start to fade because the high notes take a little more embouchure, strength and stuff. So you kind of have to gauge yourself and just know how much you can take as far as your endurance. So basically that's it. Yeah. And then being a trumpet player, we have to maintain that certain amount of strength, because if we take 2 or 3 weeks off, we don't play, we come back and play, and it's like, oh no.
See.
And then those 2-hour gigs become a nightmare, because after the first hour, you're like, you're trying to, get your chops back.
People don't realize what it takes.
Yeah. It's like a marathon runner. If you stop running and then you try to do a marathon, a month later, you're not going to do well. So it takes a certain amount of maintenance, to be, a trumpet player that can play 2 or 3 hours, in a gig.
Right. Right. I can see that. Now tell me a little bit more about like the different colors of the trumpet. Now, looking at them, I would say they look very, very different. Do they sound different? Are they two different types of trumpet?
Yes. Okay. So that one is a Mike Del Quattro mother trumpet, and it's made out of copper and brass and nickel silver, and then the mouthpiece is silver plated. Okay. So that's a B flat trumpet. That's the most common trumpet.
Is the B flat?
Yeah, and you can get different keyed trumpets. You can get a C trumpet, a B flat trumpet, which is most common. You can get a D trumpet, E trumpet, piccolo trumpet, which is an octave higher and like a toy. So there's a lot of different trumpets, but B flat trumpets, probably 90% of us will play B flat trumpets.
I never
it's the
knew
most
that.
common.
That sounds like almost like a harmonica.
Yeah. Different trumpets and different keys.
Really? Mm-hmm. So what about when you want to play different songs in different keys? You have to play a different trumpet?
You don't have to. Most of the music is written for the trumpet that you play. Mm-hmm. So anytime I'm reading music for that trumpet, it's all written for B flat trumpet.
Oh, got it.
But every once in a while, some jazz person will hand out piano parts. It's like, oh no, we have to transpose. So transposing, I mean, it's kind of a something that you can get good at, but you just have to kind of practice because you're reading one note and having to play something different. So a piano is in concert pitch. A trumpet is one step lower. So if you're trying to play piano music along with a piano, you're going to be one step off.
Really?
Yeah, unless you get a C trumpet. Yeah, because then that'll match the piano, which is concert pitch.
Okay, so some of the groups like the Houserockers, right? Mm-hmm. Where can the Houserockers be found?
Pretty much in the Bay Area. We'll do a lot of gigs in Los Gatos, which is kind of our home base. We'll do some gigs in Pleasanton. Okay. Some gigs. We'll do like casual gigs for like house parties and things. But mainly we'll do a lot of things during the summertime. Okay. We'll do all the art and wine festivals, all around basically.
Right.
And pretty much in the Bay Area, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Paul Kent real quick. How many members are actually in the Houserockers?
Houserockers, there's 10 of us. But we kind of say there's 11 because Bill Tasto, he's the sound man, and he's kind of part of the band because he's at every gig. And we use his equipment, and he's pretty much part of the band.
Right.
So even in some of the pictures, the band will include him because he is a working member.
Oh, got it. So just going back, we're going to digress just a little bit. Just going back, you said earlier that you were the only one in your family that actually plays, or?
Actually, most of my family did play except my mom. But I'm the only one left playing.
Oh,
basically.
got it. Stay with it.
So yeah, my older sister, she was on clarinet for a while, and then after high school, she kind of dropped it. One of my younger sisters was on trombone and flute, and she decided not to continue. And then my youngest sister, she was on clarinet, but never continued. So I'm the only one left continuing.
Oh, got it. And your parents?
My dad played bagpipes and clarinet, and maybe a little bit of guitar. He was never really good on guitar, but he tried.
Yeah.
But he was a good bagpipe player.
A bagpipe.
Yeah.
Got it. How did that sound growing up?
It was pretty loud, and with the So, but he didn't play it too much. I remember he kind of stopped around like 1980 or so.
Oh, got it. Okay. All right.
So. Yeah, but maybe someday I'll pick up the bagpipes.
I've never seen that. Yeah, bagpipes in person. Yeah, only on TV.
Yeah.
Do you teach?
Yeah, I have private students.
Oh, nice.
And I also work with some school districts in the area where I go in and I help the trumpets or the brass section. I do like sectionals.
Okay, got it. What three brass, I should say, go good together when you're doing like a live? In addition with the band, like the bass, the drums, the keyboards, and you have a live horn section. When they say horn section, typically it's 3, right?
Yeah, three or more.
And that would consist of what?
Usually you want to cover the spectrum, the sound spectrum. So trumpets would be kind of high, maybe a tenor sax, the medium, and then a trombone would be in the sort of the bass area.
Oh.
So if you want to cover that, the whole spectrum, you could do that. In the Stingfoot Orchestra, we have 2 trumpets, trombone, tenor sax, bari sax, and alto sax. So we cover everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice. It's a nice thick sound.
Right. Do you play any other instruments besides the trumpet?
I play a little bit of guitar. I can teach beginning flute, beginning clarinet, beginning saxophone, just enough to get the kids started.
Right.
And then they take off, and it's like, good, because I don't want to have to stay ahead of them the whole time.
Right.
So I know to get those, the younger kids started, but my main instruments are, brass.
Right. Right. That's nice. That's really nice. In terms of like some of the projects that you've worked on, have you accompanied anyone like on maybe some other records or some of the other people who've done like maybe putting other projects together?
Yeah, I've done some recording sessions with some local people who have released CDs, but that was like a long time ago, and I don't remember their names.
That's okay. We're here to talk about it. It's all about you.
But yeah, if somebody calls me up, they need horn parts, I'll go in the studio, whatever. But usually I've been really busy with Houserockers and the other bands and the schools that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where most of my time goes.
Got it. Are there any projects that you have coming up? When I say projects, I mean like live. Any other, like if you're going to be playing any shows, any upcoming shows anytime soon?
I think we're pretty much on a break until about March or so.
Oh, wow. Okay. Got it. Holidays.
Yeah. Holidays and everybody's.
But what are some of the places that you have played?
Let me see. Well, we've done Mountain Charlie's when it was.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And Number One Broadway. We used to play in another band, PST, Pacific Standard Time.
Okay.
We were almost like their house band. We would do like 2 gigs a month there, and so we had a really good following there. But PST kind of went on hiatus and never came back after 2016.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So sometimes we'll do a reunion, get together and play. But as far as like big venues and things, most of the stuff that has been big has been the summertime art and wine festivals. Where there's thousands, sometimes hundreds or thousands of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah. And then I always enjoy playing outside because it's like fresh air and,
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of times here in Los Gatos, it's like a community.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people know each other, and it's family. I love going to it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. It's nice to call Los Gatos like our home base.
Right.
Even though Paul moved away, but
he did. But he still comes back though.
Yeah,
for those
he still
events.
comes back. Yeah, which is good.
Yeah. Have you ever had your own band?
Yeah, me and my friend Kevin Kona, we created a band called Lights Out back in 1986.
Oh wow, nice.
86 to
Long
93. And we used to do local gigs. We used to play at some hotels. We actually did Oakland Hotel, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. But this was back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh wow.
But yeah, that's what I could call my band, because we formed it, we put it together, we bought the equipment.
Right.
We did all the setups and teardowns and stuff. A lot of work, but a lot of fun.
At that time, right?
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How has music changed your life?
I think it's exposed me to, meeting different people, going different places, like in the Olympic marching band. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go down to Southern California for almost 6 weeks, and all expense paid, by the government, because it was an Olympic event. And it was nice, just kind of, I was 20 years old.
Nice.
We drove down there and spent 6 weeks in LA, and so I think that was one of the highlights.
Right. Okay.
So yeah.
For someone, say at that age, like even younger, what would you recommend that they, what kind of recommendations would you give a young person getting into the industry or to learn an instrument?
I would say practice your scales.
Right.
And just get good on your instrument, listen to a lot of recordings. And nowadays, you have YouTube, you can find anything on YouTube, and, pull out videos that you want to watch, or you want to, who's going to be your hero.
Right.
And then find his videos, and basically just you need to put the time in. Yeah.
Put the time in, right?
You're not going to get good in one day.
Right.
So And I've been playing for over 50 years. And
Oh my goodness.
there's things that, that I still can't do, and I'm trying and stuff. But at least all the bands I'm in don't require the super, super hard stuff or the super, super high notes.
Right.
So I can fit in and cover my parts. But I would just recommend, just practice. You got to practice a lot and be inspired. Join bands. Have a reason to practice. Join jazz band, marching band, concert band. Anything that will make you play. Where you can perform. You want a reason to practice.
What about books? Are there any books that you could recommend or that you're familiar with?
Yeah, the major trumpet books is like Arbin's trumpet book and St. Jacome's trumpet book, and basically it's a music book, but it covers like everything. They're like conservatory type books.
Oh, nice.
But in terms of trumpet players or life stories or autobiographies, I haven't really got much into that. But that's pretty much what I would get into. Get the books. The Arbin's book is like one of the Bibles of a trumpet player,
right?
Even though it was written in 1880.
Oh my goodness,
still good now. Yeah.
Wow. The history of the trumpet that's one of the first instruments, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. The horns came from horns, actual animal horns.
Oh, like a bugle, like a.
Yeah, and then you had bugles, and then we started getting chromatic instruments like trumpet, and now now we have the modern instruments now. But yeah, horns and trumpets and bugles, yeah, they've come a long way.
Right. Would you say this is a part of the acoustic family?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's acoustic.
Yeah.
Almost.
You can definitely play it acoustic because it can get pretty loud, and you get pretty soft too. And so a lot of times you don't really need to mic a trumpet or a flugel unless you're on stage and all the other guitar players are turning up, the keyboard players are turning up. So then we need some amplification too.
A loud competition.
Yeah. You know how that is?
Oh, yes. Been there, done that.
Guitar player turns up. The keyboard has to play up.
Right.
Lead vocals have to turn up. It's like ding, 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 ding.
Right.
Ding,
And then no one hears anything. It's mud. It's just straight mud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better when everyone can be heard at a lower level.
Yeah.
That's my personal thing.
Yeah, me too. In fact, the bands I'm in now, we're using in-ear monitors.
Really?
And with Houserockers, we get to use our phones and we can do our own personal mix of what we want to hear in our in-ear monitors.
Okay, got it.
So
it doesn't really matter what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
It's like you can have your own personal mix.
Yeah, we get like a little mixing board, and there's more trumpet, less saxophone. So the technology is pretty amazing. We've come a long ways since the floor monitors, where we just had the floor monitors,
old school,
blowing up at us.
Right.
So now we just have the in-ear monitors, and we can just tailor our sound that what we want to hear.
Right, exactly.
So,
well, how do you feel about doing I should ask you, have you done any recording sessions?
Not in a long time. I've just been busy doing live
right?
performances.
What do you prefer?
I like doing live.
You like doing live?
Yeah, because the crowd's there, the people are dancing.
Interactive.
Yeah, interactive, and just the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're in the studio, it's fun doing studio stuff too. But it's like, okay, take it again. You get your click track, and okay, here it goes again.
Right.
And then you get recorditis because after about 10 takes, then you start making mistakes because it's just.
Oh yeah.
You ever happen to you?
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's like, okay, cut. Okay, let's do it again. It's like, oh no, and then it's. You start going down.
I don't know what it is. There's something about that record button.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's like, you got it. They hit record. You don't got it.
Yeah.
You thought you had it.
Yep.
Something about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's why I call it recorditis.
Right?
Yeah. Hit the record button. Kick it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Exactly. Yeah. So right now we're running out of time. And we appreciate you here on KCAT.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You shared a wealth of information with these two guys right here. By the way, do they have names?
I call that the madre, which is Spanish for mother. It's a mother trumpet.
Mother.
And this is just flugelhorn.
Flugelhorn.
Yeah.
Basic.
Flugel.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you. I appreciate you coming here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. And I'm Kimball Hooker on season 3. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check out Mike McWilliams. You can Google him and he'll just boom, pop up and be everywhere. He plays with the Houserockers. I'm Kimball Hooker. And until then, we'll see you guys next time.
You just heard the Kimball Hooker Show here on KCAT Radio. Explore all our KCAT original programming at kcat.org/radio.